Hey, what's up everyone? Wanted to shoot a quick video answering a question that I get asked a lot. And the question is, what are your expenses in the overage business? Or basically a lot of people ask, if I buy a course and I learn how to do this business, what other costs am I going to incur doing the business? And so I'm gonna go over what some of my costs are in the business and answer this question for you. So when I first started out, obviously I was on a shoestring budget. I didn't have a ton of money to invest into a new business. And so I basically got started out with a few $100. It was less than $500, that I was able to do my first deal as far as tax sale overages go. Mortgage overages, my first deal cost me probably $200 to $300 to get it going, because I had to use an attorney and there were some filing fees. And so in all reality, you can get started in this business with less than 500, maybe even less than that, a couple $100 and you should be able to do a deal. Okay. So what are some of the expenses that I have? I like to send letters to people. And so there's postage expenses. That can add up pretty quickly. It just depends how many letters you're sending, but it's definitely doable. It's not a huge expense. So postage is one. What else? Skip tracing software can be another one, or basically a software that you use to help gather contact information for people. There are a lot of free resources out there, such as Being Verified. Well, Being Verified is not free. I think it's like $20 a month. True People Search, Fast People Search, these are free resources. There's some other ones out there that I haven't really used. As I started doing more and more deals, I wanted to be able to get better data or better phone numbers so that my contact rate would go up. And so I started using paid skip tracing services. Some of the ones I've used are Locate Plus, which ran about $69 a month, I think. I've also used Skip Genie, which is about $100 a month. I like both of those softwares. We recently just got an account with Accurate, which is a very high-end skip tracing software. That's going to run about $150 a month and possibly more depending on the amount of searches we do. So skip tracing software can be an expense, anywhere between, free to $150, $200 a month. Just depends on how many searches you're doing and what software you're using. What other expenses can I tell you about? Let's see, virtual assistants. In the beginning, I did not use virtual assistants, but some people do. We have experimented with virtual assistants recently. That can run anywhere from, $6 an hour for a virtual assistant up to $10 to $15 an hour. It just depends. I could do a whole other video on virtual assistants and working with them. It's yeah, I'll save that for another video, but that's an expense that is not a necessary expense, but it is an expense that as you get going, you may incur it. So it's working with virtual assistants. Obviously the other expense too, not so much with tax sale overages, but definitely with mortgage overages, is attorney fees. And I get this question a lot: how do I work out my attorney fees? Every attorney is different. Some of my attorneys, I pay them their hourly rate. Other attorneys, I just pay them a flat fee to submit the claim. And then some attorneys will work on a contingency basis, meaning they'll take out a percentage. And that can be anywhere from, usually it's around 10% if they're working a contingency. So if I strike a deal for, say, a 70-30 split, really my cut's going to be 20% after I pay the attorney. So that's how that works. Legal fees can definitely add up quick, but it's the cost of doing business. And I like using attorneys just to make sure that all the forms are correct and the claim is submitted properly and that I get it done and get paid so that my client gets paid and I get paid. And so I've noticed people are hesitant to use attorneys. I don't know why. I guess it's just the expense, but for me, the cost of hiring an attorney is well worth it. So those are some of the expenses that you can expect to get into when you're starting the overage business. Now, again, most of these you can start off like I did. Start off with the free stuff. Start off with using True People Search as your skip tracing software. Do all the phone calls yourself. Don't hire anything out. Do the research and everything, and don't incur these other expenses until you've actually gotten some deals done. So you start small and then build your way up. Right now, I have a small team, and so our overhead is much higher than when I started out before. But one thing that will also help you is partnering with people and sharing that expense. And so if you're looking to do the business and you don't want to pay for attorneys or anything like that, you can consider partnering with me, and you can check that out and what that's all about at overagesyndicate.com. Basically how that works is my partners will bring a deal in, and then I have the responsibility to pay the legal fees and get it to the finish line. And then we just split everything 50-50. So, but again, there's more info at overagesyndicate.com. Hopefully this helps for you guys. This is just a brief overview of some of the expenses of the overage business. Compared to a lot of other businesses, it's really not a lot, and that's why I like it, is because there doesn't have to be a ton of overhead to have success. It's completely up to you and how you want to run it. And so that's why I've enjoyed this strategy is, I can kind of control my overhead. I can pull back. I can decrease my expenses if I need to, or I can ramp things up and really, go full bore. It all depends on you and your situation. So that's one of the pros to the business is there is a low overhead compared to some other businesses. So I think that's it, guys. Hopefully you found this helpful. And if you have any questions, comment below. And then again, if you want to consider partnering with me, you can check out overagesyndicate.com. Thanks, guys.